Hi, I'm that bookish mom. Today I'm going to be doing the Gilmore Girls tag, and I am so excited because I love the Gilmore Girls. I saw that the original video for this tag had been deleted, so I am just going to link the video down below that I watched. And that video was created by Brushing Bookends. That channel is hosted by two lovely ladies who are very entertaining, and if you have not seen anything on their channel before, I will go ahead and link that video down for the Gilmore Girls tag and their channel. The first question is Lorelai. Name a character who has a witty or sarcastic sense of humor. I chose Nikolai. My books are not in order. I chose Nikolai from Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. He was hilarious and just so witty. I loved him. He was awesome, and I could totally see him and Lorelai getting along. Number 2 is Rory. Name your favorite classic. So it's pretty sad that I do not own my favorite classic, but my favorite classic is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I actually just ordered the Puffins and Bloom and Puffin Classics editions, so I'm pretty excited about those. 3. Luke. A book that you secretly love but are afraid to admit. So anything, I feel like everybody thinks John Green is so overrated, and so I chose Looking for Alaska because I loved this book. And I also could have chosen this book for Sukie, a book you devoured, because I read this in one day. It's pretty short though, it's only 200 and something pages. But I really like this book, and I was pretty surprised at how many people really didn't care for it. But a book that I secretly love and don't admit would be John Green books. Number 4, Lane. Name a musical character. So I didn't think too hard about this. I really don't know how many books I've read with musical characters. The only one that I could think of was a book that I read a really long time ago. I don't know, maybe in 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade. And that's King Dork by Frank Portman. And the character that is musical is Tom Henderson and his friend. I don't remember the friend's name, but they were always creating bands and coming up with new band names, and just I think they used to hang out and actually play instruments. I don't really remember. Like I said, I read this in like 7th or 8th grade, and this is the only book that I can remember there being a musical character in. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just not thinking hard enough. I don't know, but this is the book I chose. Number 5, Dean. Your first book love. A character. So I don't think I have any. I really, I wish I could say that I do, and I did, but I really don't think I haven't. And I really like book couples, but I would never, I've never had like a perfect book boyfriend or anything like that. If I had to pick somebody, maybe Peter Kavinsky from the To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy, just because all the things that he did for Lara Jean, especially in the last book, Always and Forever Lara Jean, he just did so many sweet and romantic, cute gestures that if I absolutely had to choose, maybe I would choose him. Maybe just because that's a book that I've read recently, but he was just so sweet to her, and they watched movies that Lara Jean really liked, and he would reenact scenes with her without even telling her. Like for her birthday, he did this 16 candles scene, and it was just so sweet and so cute. He knew her so well and just decided to do cute stuff for her. I don't know. I thought it was really cute and I loved it. Number 6, Sukie. Name a book that you devoured. So, like I said, I could have picked Looking for Alaska by John Green because I read it in a day, but I didn't want to choose the same books for all the posts or all the questions, so I went with Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, because even though it's not the thickest book I've ever read, but it's probably a pretty thick book that I finished the quickest. It was just so good and I was hooked and I couldn't put it down. So I would say Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Number 7, Jess, a book that you love that everyone hates. So since I don't have a lot of bookish friends, I haven't really, like, I don't really know what everybody likes and what everybody doesn't like. I don't think I pulled this book. Okay, I had to go get it because I completely moved it to a different spot on my bookshelf and it's always been in the same spot, so I was so confused and couldn't find it. But like I said, I don't have a lot of bookish friends, so I don't know who likes books and who doesn't like certain books. So what I did was I went to my Goodreads, and out of all the books that I have on the books that I've read list, I put the ratings in order from least popular or lowest ratings to highest ratings. And out of the low ratings, I chose one of my favorite books. And I was pretty surprised that Faded had 3.65 stars. And I loved this book. And I started looking through reviews and I was like, wow, people really didn't care for this book. And I loved it. I thought it was so funny. It was just, it had me cracking up the entire time. And I was just, I don't know. This was on my 5 books I'd like to reread, or I want to reread video. And I remember loving it, and I really feel like I should reread it to see if I still feel the same way, because it's probably been about 5 or 6 years since I've read it. But yeah, a book that everybody hates. Sorry, Jess. Are you Team Dean or Team Jess? I really thought, I don't want to get into this because then I'll go on a whole rant. But comment down below if you were Team Dean or Team Jess or Team Logan. I think that's all the boyfriends she had. I don't know. Which team were you on? And number 8, Miss Patty, a book that was ruined by all the hype. I wouldn't say this book was ruined by all the hype, but I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I didn't understand why it was hyped up so much. I don't know. I hope I don't get any like angry comments. I mean, it was good. I'm not going to say it was a bad book. It was a good book, but I was just surprised at how much it was overhyped after reading it. I don't know. But that would be Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. Like I said, I did enjoy it, but I was surprised by it. I was very surprised because it was just not really what I expected at all. I mean, at first they like don't like each other, just out of the few instances that, or a few little, I don't know, run-ins that they had in with each other. They just did not like each other. And I was surprised by that. Like I went into this book not knowing a whole lot. This is either the second or third book that I read by Rainbow Rowell. The first book was Attachments, and I really enjoyed that. Which, that could have been another book that everybody hated. That could have been a Jess book. But I went with Faded. But this, I don't know. It just wasn't as amazing as I thought it was going to be based on all the hype. Like I said, it wasn't necessarily ruined for me. I just didn't understand what all the hype was about. Number 9, Emily Gilmore. Name your most expensive book. I don't really think I pulled the book for this one. These are probably the most expensive books that I own. $35, and I think this one's about $35 too. But yeah, these are probably the most expensive books that I own. I can't believe I didn't pull these. Like, why didn't I think of that? Okay, and the last question is number 10, Paris. Name an uptight character. So I chose Kath from Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. And there could have been more uptight characters that I've read about that I'm just not thinking of. But Kath, I felt, was a little uptight. I mean, compared to her sister, for sure. Her sister was a partier and wanted to go hang out and party, basically. And she just wanted to stay in her dorm and write. And she would get easily annoyed with Levi for calling her Cather. I just felt like she was a little uptight. So that was my Gilmore Girls tag. It was so fun talking about the characters, and like, it is so awesome, these questions, because it is totally like all characters. Like Lorelai, witty and sarcastic sense of humor. Yes. Rory, favorite classic, because she's always reading classics. Luke, a book that you secretly love but are afraid to admit. Like, I love these questions. Lane, musical character. Dean, first book love. It was just so much fun thinking of characters in books that could be, like, compared to, like, characters in Gilmore Girls. So it was just so fun doing this tag. If you are a Gilmore Girls fan, I tag you. Comment down below if you love Gilmore Girls. I love Gilmore Girls. And like I asked earlier, who are you rooting for Rory? Dean, Jess, or Logan? Comment down below. We'll talk about it down there because I don't want to make this video longer than it has to be. I could go on a rant about whose team I was on and who I was rooting for, but we'll close this video out. Thanks for watching. Bye.